Okay, so here we go. We're about to make the traditional nuts and bolts. As you see, we have our well-worn recipe. Now, it's not just the nuts and bolts. You see that there's a nuts and bolts recipe there, but there's also the whipped shortbreads. Now, this year I forgot to grab the cornstarch for the whipped shortbread, so I can't do that this year. But this is my mom's nuts and bolts recipe. So what you're going to need for that is 3 cups of butter. So that's what we have sitting over here.
That's 3 cups?
That is 3 cups because each square is a half a cup. So there's 3 cups of margarine. Well, it says butter, but I use margarine. Doesn't really matter too much. And of course you have your Worcestershire sauce. You need 8 tablespoons of that. Then you got your onion powder, which is, what do you need for that? Oh, 8 teaspoons, sorry, of onion powder. Same with the garlic powder. I always add a little bit of extra. It's just me. You know, you can tweak the recipe to your best of your abilities. Yeah, put it in a pot, and it goes on the stove. We'll do that in a second. And then in the roasting pan, like right there, you mix your cereals. So this year we're using Crispex, because I couldn't find any Shreddies when I was out, and Life cereal was also sold out actually. So this year we're doing the Crispex, but it calls for one 400-gram box of Cheerios, which we don't have either because I only have a little bit of Cheerios because, again, something I couldn't find. When I went shopping on a Saturday there, last Saturday before Christmas, it was completely nuts in my local store. So I couldn't find half the things I usually need. I was able to find the pretzels, which was good. And like I said, then we have a small little bit of the Cheerios and then the 2 Crispex. So it's not exactly the recipe that I would love to do. I'm missing the Shreddies and the bigger thing of Cheerios. And then you can either add peanuts or cashews. My mom used to add cashews, and sometimes she left them out completely. None of my family really loves nuts, so we're leaving them out this year. So what we need to do then is we're going to pull our pot here.
Right into the recipe.
Right out of the recipe. Well, I know this recipe is like the back of my hand, so we're going to... Alright, so now we're going to add all the butter. Grab one, guys, and let's plop her in.
Not the butter!
The old-fashioned plopping of the butter.
Sorry, I meant my margarine.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is margarine.
That's better.
There we go. Get it in there, so to speak. And then the last one. Boom! Alright, see, there's what it looks like. Now all of the butter is in there. Alright, so now it's time to add the Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, depending on how you say it. Sometimes people can't say the word. Like Daddy, he can't say it, so he says W sauce instead. And I heard a lot of people call that in the store. Luckily, I can say Worcestershire. See? There, Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
There we go. See, Bella can do it too.
Worcestershire sauce.
Oh, so can Alex. Look at that. We all can do it.
Kind of hard to say it, to be honest.
It is. So there's our little tablespoon. So you need 8 of those. So let's hope this is enough, as this was the last bottle I found at the grocery store. Luckily, an employee helped me find it because they moved it from being at the top to the bottom.
Did you?
2, 3. You gotta be careful because I literally just made a mess over here on my table. Forgot to shake up the Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
All right, there you go. Much better. So that was what, 2?
No, that was 3.
3. All right, 3.
Kind of smells
4. 5. 6.
That sounds good.
It is.
That's what I said. But you just
7.
said that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's 8. Now, this is just what I like to do, but I like to add a couple of extra just to give it a little bit of an extra Worcestershire sauce taste.
I'm surprised.
There's 1 extra.
I'm surprised the 3 of us can actually say it. Worcestershire sauce.
And there's a second. So I put a grand total, I put 10 teaspoons in myself, but that's just me. For the first time people maybe using this recipe, you might want to follow it to the T. Okay, now that we have all that in there, it's time for our spices, which we have onion powder. So There's our little teaspoon for the onion powder. And there's our onion powder. Okay, so now we do the mix of the cereals and the stuff. You see I'm using a big roasting pan. It's the biggest one I got. So there's that. So I always like to layer it because it makes it so much easier. So as you can see, we preheated the oven to 200. So that's all ready. So now what we're also doing is we are working on melting our sauce. Okay, so now we have the lovely mixture we just made with the butter and all the lovely spices to it. And then we use our handy dandy spoon to stir it up. So here goes nothing. Gotta get it all. I'm right-handed, so if I had 2 right hands, I'd be perfect right about now. So quickly stir it up. And just kind of pour it in. Over top. Whoops! Everything. I hit the camera. And there we go. Just kind of get it all out of the pot. Alex, can you put that back on the stove, please? Thank you. And then, yep. And then we just kind of mix it around. Now, usually I would do this with gloves, but my gloves are apparently nowhere to be found. So I'm just using this to stir it around, get it all in there nice and good. Get it all covered. We have several pieces trying to escape.
That's normal.
Completely normal. So there we go. And there we go. Just kind of get her all stirred in because it'll all melt down. The sauce and everything will all melt down and whatnot. Okay, so there's that. So there's what it looks like. Sitting there up on the stove. Looks yummy already. So now we just take her and we stick her in the oven like that. As you can see, she's in the oven. Okay, so here we go for the very final pull out to do the mixing. I'm trying to do it one-handed. Not as easy as it looks. But there we go. See, it's starting to be nice and golden. Here, I'll turn the light on so you can see a little bit better. It's getting there. Handy dandy spoon. And I throw it everywhere. You just kind of stir up like so. So there we are, the very final stir. As you can see, it's all ready to go back in the oven. So let's do that. Oh, lost it. Alright, there we are. She's in the oven. Those are up. And while I wait for that to do all of its stuff, I figured I'd take my own break and just kind of chillax myself before the storm hits. There's always a calm before the storm. I mean, if anybody knows, they know. We had a pretty interesting year when it came to hurricanes and such. We had one hit. Unfortunately, it was the weekend that my mom passed, back in September. September 26th is when she passed, so it would have been the 24th that the storm was hitting. That was Hurricane Fiona. So that was the last time we had a real major storm come through. We got lucky that all we lost was power. We didn't have any damage or anything done for that, so very lucky, but a lot of other people in the area weren't. We were without power for 3 days. Actually, we got power restored shortly after my mom did pass. She passed at 7 p.m. our time, 6 p.m. in Ontario where she lives, so about 8 o'clock is when we got our power back. So always got to make sure to keep things prepped and ready to go for those power outages, because you never know when they're going to happen and how long they can happen. Okay, so now we're going to do this little brownie mix that I have. Pretty simplistic, very easy instructions, very easy ingredients as well. It needs a 1/4 cup of water, but I chose to use milk instead. Then you need 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. I don't have any of that in the house, so I used olive oil. Shouldn't be much different. I could use coconut oil, but I find that it solidifies a little too quickly, which makes it very hard to use in these recipes. And then, of course, your 1 egg. Now it's calling for an 8 by 8 inch or 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter pan. Grease it and line it with parchment paper, but I am going to do this the old-fashioned way with just a glass dish, and I'll butter that up. Ooh, there we go. And there's box is now empty. There's the brownie mix. Has these easy tear thingies, as you can see. Try not to drop it, like I just did. Drop her in. There we are. Into thing. Get all the ingredients out of that. I'll put that off to the side. And there you are, as you can see inside the bowl. All ready to go. So then we add our milk. Okay. Add our oil. Get as much out as you can. There we go. And crack our egg. Oops, and retrieve the shell. It happened to fall off while I was doing that. There we go. Alright. So that's that. Let's get the brownie mix off my hand. There we go. That's now done. So we grab our handy dandy whisk. So as you can see, we've got my 9 by 11 lasagna pan. I bake brownies in this all the time. Hopefully it'll fit the batter. So there's that. Got your trusty margarine, like I said in my grocery haul video. Always for my baking. Gotta have that in the house. And so now we just kind of do this with the brush and we butter up the pan like so. Just gotta make sure that you spread it nice and even on the pan so that it doesn't, well, hopefully the brownie won't stick. And now with our handy dandy spatula, see, that little spatula, we're gonna take the brownie dough, or mix, and we're gonna scrape her out into lasagna pan. spread her out. So it comes as much as you can scrape out of there. Put into. Alrighty. Just kind of spread her out to the best of our abilities here. Oh, this could be interesting because I don't think. Okay, so I had some of these as well in the house, so I thought, why not add a few to the top of the brownie mix. See how that helps, it turns out. Like I said, you always gotta make it your own. There you go. It's nice and on the top there. And here we are, the final product. There is the nuts and bolts without the nuts, as you can see. Looks really good. Actually, we already tore into this one, so very yummy, just like I remember. Everyone loved it. And then here's the brownie. Didn't turn out too bad, if I do say so myself. All those lovely chocolate chips. Now the next test is to cut a piece and try her out. But there you are, the very finished product. I hope you enjoyed this video and cooking and baking with us today. We had a lot of fun making these treats, and we're going to have even more fun eating them. And if you're on the east coast of either Canada or the States, bunker down, stay safe. This storm could be a big one, but it could blow over just the same. Be prepared. Never take storms for granted. I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, a great New Year, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody. Night.